if they bring the Charger and Challenger and all that stuff back, it'd probably be some kind of hybrid deal.
I like motors.
Welcome back to the Shed Podcast. I'm Chad.
I'm Frank.
And this is episode 4.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. So we had a great discussion last week. Could not convince you on car clubs.
Not happening.
So, we talked about some other stuff, but the car club was kind of the main topic. Did you think about it any over the week?
I mean, a little bit. Like,
still not sold?
Not entirely. Like, for me,
I'm gonna say
it's just it would take so much more that I just don't think is feasible. I mean, Joey was talking about it. I get the brotherhood part of it. That's cool. It would just take, in my mind, there's a lot more to the club aspect. I kind of picture biker club with 4 wheels.
I don't know. I'm going to take you somewhere this weekend. A little surprise visit.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you hang out with the car club for a show coming up Saturday.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm going to show you how it's done. So I guess let's get into it. I was talking to Steven Stout. Me and Steven Stout's really good friends. Most of everybody that watches this is going to know Steven. Steven takes some excellent photos. And me and him was just kind of talking and really just talking about how evolving photography's got since, even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But definitely, you went to car shows, let's just say 2000, 2003, 2005, whatever. And you're looking back on the pictures and you thought, man, that was awesome. I went to Walmart and bought this cool camera. And now you see some of the pictures that these guys are taking. That's insane.
It's not the same.
No. It is cool to kind of, look back on those old pictures and kind of see, even how technology is involved. But
the technology's just come so far. I mean, we're literally shooting this with an iPhone.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I would venture to say 90% of people could not tell the difference in that.
Yeah.
There's
cameras and everything.
There's YouTube channels out there dedicated to cars, and the only camera these guys use, video, photography, every bit of it is done with an iPhone.
Yeah.
So, if that much is in your pocket, imagine what you can do when you actually go out and buy a piece of equipment that's designed for that use. I mean, not taking anything from the photographers. There's still a skill in that.
Super
for sure.
Good skill. It's you got to have a great eye on trying to capture that.
Yes.
What you're looking at through the camera.
Yeah, not anybody just grab a camera and go take a good picture.
No, I mean, to be honest with you, I've tried. I think I take okay, but I'm not anywhere close to like Jimmy Wise or Steven or any of them guys local to us. Those
guys, that's something they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than a hobby to them at this point.
It is.
So, they've put the time, they've put the money, they've put the effort into learning how to do it and get better at it time and time again.
I know Steven said, one of what kind of got him into photography is going through his dad's old albums of car shows where, he took pictures of old cars and stuff. So kind of got me thinking, the photography wasn't what we're going to talk about. That just leaded up to it.
Okay.
So, that kind of got Steven into photography. But what got you into going to car shows?
Like car shows or cars in general?
Just car shows.
Chad Hutchins. Like, I ain't even going to lie.
Man, I screwed you on that one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I had obviously been to shows over the years. To say that I went to multiple shows a year, no. I just didn't. That's not the culture I grew up in. My family was a fix it, ride it to work faster kind of family. Like we didn't have stuff that we done up and took to car shows. Now, like if we was at Pigeon Forge or somewhere like that and we saw a car show, obviously we'd stop by. Me, my dad, my brother, we've all kind of been into it. But I did not start the actual car show journey
Until Madness.
until Madness. Like when you called and asked me to help out with Madness. I mean, sure, why not? You need help parking, whatever.
Yeah.
Man, did it snowball! And I have to say, like I thoroughly enjoy it now.
Yeah.
like
yeah,
I do.
Good time.
Even if I'm not putting a car in it or anything like that, I enjoy going to the shows. Enjoy seeing the cars, talking to the people, the work that gets done to them. Car shows are almost just as much of a hobby as having a classic car could be.
Oh yeah. I know a lot of people kind of quit their main jobs just to put on for-profit car shows.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We do Madness in the Mountains to help out a charity.
Yeah.
Maybe down the line, maybe we do our own show that, we have Madness for charity and maybe one for, to kind of help us. But I've never really thought about that. But a lot of people has for-profit shows, and it's not a bad
There's
thing.
a ton of
Because it is a whole lot of work. It's a job.
I would think majority of your bigger shows are for-profit shows.
A lot of the big shows is. And I've got a lot of buddies that has shows.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a charity event.
But they donate
but
a lot.
Yeah, it's a for-profit show, but they'll take some of the money and give it to this charity and this charity, and then they'll pay staff and stuff like that. And, I mean, it's nice. It's nice sometimes because it is a whole lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just being candid about it, that's why it's hard for us to keep staff.
Yeah, it is.
To find 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 people dedicated, multiple days out of the year and say, ooh, there's no money in this.
Well, I know that.
I need you to take the day off work and be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, be over here.
Commit your whole day to us.
No money. So, yeah, I would.
I know we needed help that one year, so we
We paid
decided
some people that year.
to help just park.
And
And it was kind of, it went okay, but it didn't go anywhere as what I thought it was. So
Yeah.
you're better off just letting people park and just save all you can as far as charity goes. I think what got me into going to car shows is I've always went to them, since I was a kid, with my uncle having an old car. Actually, a couple uncles having old cars. And, me and my little cousin would get in the back and we'd go to a car show. And to be honest with you, we was bored to death the whole day.
Yeah.
And, as a kid, I didn't know what a 57 Bel Air was. It's okay.
Right.
Until I ended up seeing this one car. And it was Dennis Shrewsbury's Zephyr.
That's the one?
That's the one that kind of got me into cars altogether. I seen that Zephyr, and he just had got it done. I think it was at Pipestem at the car show, or it was one of them. But everybody hated that car because it was Mr. Original.
Yeah.
You had all your original guys, or I just put a set of Kragers on this, and I'm the baddest thing out.
Right.
And he just comes with this full custom
built car.
air ride Lincoln Zephyr on the ground, awesome paint. The whole thing was amazing. And for me, I was like, that's it. I want that when I get older. Yeah. I'm just always. And,
how old was you?
Maybe 8, 9.
Really?
Yeah. I was super young. And then, I ended up calling Dennis Shrewsbury right before the first Madness
year
in the Mountains.
Madness.
And I said, look, I want to tell you a story. So I told him that story.
Yeah.
I said, you probably wonder why I'm telling you, but I want to use your car as far as flower goes, because I've always, here within the last, 10 years, I kind of always want to do my own car show. But what got me going was your car, so it only makes sense to have it on flyer. And he's like, yeah, let's make it happen. Yeah, so that car was really what kind of got me into, I guess, the whole vehicle scene, so to speak. I guess that's my problem now is I'll get a car, and I guess where I've grown up, always admiring that car, because it's so heavily modified.
Just
I just
kinda
got to
keep pushing
I just
towards
got to
that.
tear everything I got apart and destroy it. And,
I mean, I guess if I had to like narrow it down to a car that got me into it, my uncle had a 74 stepside C10.
okay.
And I mean, to me, I was 14. That was just the coolest thing in the world. Like, I had been around other cars, but none that was like that done, that complete. And yeah, like that's where I learned to appreciate like classic car. This is not a daily driving car.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's not something that is just old, so it's nice. No, this was a nice car. He had put time, he had put money into it. So that's kind of where I picked it up. Maybe that's why I lean so heavy towards the truck still to this day.
Yeah, you're super all about some C10s.
Man, like that late 60s to late 80s C10, you know, and I get it, you know, the 73 is different than the 72s and all that, but that body style, those two body styles, there's just nothing cooler out there. You can do so much with them.
I know I had a 64 C10, man. I loved it, which that's outside of your realm of liking,
is.
but yeah, I just like that truck.
I just don't think you get cleaner body lines than like a 71, 72 C10. Like, I think that is just the perfect.
No, they're an awesome truck. And, you know, I guess based off, being a Chevy guy all the time, we probably need to show some Ford some love, but I always want to do a truck for the Madness in the Mountain giveaways.
Well, I mean,
Because I think everybody can always relate to a truck.
There's just so much more. If you want to jack it up, jack it up. If you want to slam it, slam it. If you want to hot rod it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so
And you can
many
still
things you can do.
If you have an old car, I mean, it's just something you can hop around in.
Yep.
Even if you got an old truck, whatever, sell it, whatever. But I think a truck goes so good for everything being an older vehicle.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's something everybody can kind of appreciate.
Well, I mean, you know, the old Fords even, you know, the old C10s, old Fords, those are still trucks. Like, you could daily one if you wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could
Like,
do it. I would never do it. But
But why?
dude, I'm so OCD. Because I'd end up fixing it up.
Okay.
I'd have it, like, perfect.
Stop running into stuff.
What? I ran into one vehicle maybe once.
You hit a curb.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, I get where you're going with this. I wouldn't destroy it.
No, you wouldn't destroy
But
it.
I'd just be
I don't
so
think
OCD.
you would destroy it.
I'd just be OCD of, you know, man, it's got swirls. I'm going to have to fix this. Like, it'd constantly be getting washed and buffed and.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But on the other hand, I do think you could have one in good enough shape that you could daily it, even if it's just back and forth to work, run it to the grocery store, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like the trucks, and even like I like the like early mid 70s, like the high boys and stuff like that, or even just the F100s. I'm a truck guy. I like them all.
Yeah, I do too. You know, I'm surprised that the OBS trucks, the old body style Chevys, like they're awesome truck. Don't get me wrong.
I don't like them.
But I don't know why the Fords hasn't like took off quite like Chevys did.
I don't either. I personally don't like the OBSs that much.
Really?
They're growing on me, but I don't like them. I'll take a 94 F-150 over a 94 C10. Yeah, hands down. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite trucks all the time is a 94 Midnight by Ford. My uncle had one, straight piped, black and red. Loved it.
Yeah, see, my dad had the old body style Lightning. And I always thought that was kind of cool truck when I was a kid.
It's one that had like the ground effects and stuff.
Yeah, it
on
did.
it.
Yeah, they weren't supercharged or anything. I think it was
Right.
5.0 or something like that. But I mean, he didn't even buy it to be fast. He just, I guess, bought it because it was in the
it looked
showroom
cool.
and it was like super cool. It's like a real light blue color. I still remember that truck. It was nice. But I don't know. I don't know why everybody's just jumped on the OBS Chevy side.
I don't know. I will say these guys that are building them are doing some cool stuff with
I
them.
know Chris Wilson has the OBS Chevy, and he's kind of flirting around the edges of getting rid of it. Of course, he's going to have a abundant amount of money.
Is that one black and red? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
No, it's kind of like a silver almost color.
Okay.
Super nice truck. Like, it looks factory in every way possible except for wheels. But he's changed all kind of stuff on that truck.
Yeah.
Like the wheel tubs and everything, just to accommodate the bigger wheels and everything. But it's a beautiful truck. If I just had extra money laying around, just burning a hole, I need to get rid of it, I'd buy that truck.
I think what surprises me about them is the price that's just jumped through the roof in the last couple, 3 years.
Yeah. They've gone way up. Everything's kind of gone way up.
Not as much as them have. Like them things, but they kind of hit that generational gap. Mm-hmm. You know, like to us, that's still just an older truck. But if you're, late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, that was how we would look at like a square body C10. So, I mean, the square bodies has kind of dropped a little bit. OBS has kind of went up a little bit. So I guess it's just a generational thing.
It must be. I almost kind of think that's what maybe happened to the Toyota Supras and the Nissan Skylines.
Well, yeah.
In the 90s. They're still astronomically high. Eventually, they're going to come down. They got to.
I don't know.
I would think so.
I don't know. I think
it's just your generational. You get them. You do a single turbo instead of the twins. You take the twins off, fix it up. 1,000 horsepower. 1,000 horsepower is not worth $90,000. I promise you. If so, I've got one sitting in the driveway. I'll make you a hell of a deal on it.
cut me in at 85.
But it's not a Supra. Could be a truck.
I don't like the Supers. I mean,
I do.
I don't.
I love them.
It is a just
If they
foreign Ford Pro.
If they wouldn't starting out at 60 for an automatic junk whatever to like 140 grand, like if it was closer to the 15s and 20s,
Right.
I'd probably own two of them.
Do you think if Fast and Furious hadn't come out, them things would be even close to the price they are now?
I mean, I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. I think that's what drove the Eclipses up too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you see a kind of a big decline in Eclipses.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's kind of got on the bandwagon. But here's another one, so they jumped on the Nissan Skyline, they jumped on the Toyota Supra, but the Dodge Stealth and the 3000 GT, the twin turbo all-wheel drive, was right there with the Supra.
You think?
It was. It was there. Especially the Mitsubishi. I could see like a Dodge, you know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say. It's not
the
an
90s
import.
was 90s was really just import years.
Yep.
So I could see it maybe not taking off, but the 3000 GT being a Mitsubishi, a lot of them had all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering. They was way ahead of their time. I don't know why those didn't take off. I mean, they still bring 20 to 30 grand. But I don't know why they're not fetching 80 and 90 like the Supras. And maybe it is the movie. I don't know. I never really thought about that.
So if you had to build a tuner, realistic budget, realistic rarity, the whole 9 yards, what tuner are you building?
Like rarity and all that?
No. Tomorrow, me and you's going to do some kind of bet between us. We got to go out and build a tuner. What do you want to build?
Are we racing them?
Maybe. Like you going like WRX or?
No. I'm done with the whole Subaru sinking a ton of money in it for minimal horsepower gains.
Yeah. What about just looks, general, everything? Just like if you could build a tuner, what would it be?
Probably an Evo, like an Evo 8, Evo 9.
I'm with you on the Evo. I would daily drive an Evo.
Now, I like a lot of other tuners way better. Like the RX-7s, the Acura NSXs, even the Acura Integra, I think is kind of cool. The Evo's awesome.
They just look fun.
The Evo's cool. I like the Evos. I think you could probably make more power elsewhere.
Right.
With a whole lot less money. I just like those cars. But if it's like rarity or something, like definitely like, RX-7 or NSX, something like that.
I mean, me, I don't know nothing about.
But if we're racing,
things.
it's probably going to have to be an Evo because technology's kind of went through the roof.
Really?
For them, yeah. There's a lot of big performance shops out there.
I guess that's something I really should get more into. At least learn a little bit about it. Like, I've never had any interest.
I know we was working on my truck, and Joey Begley's a really good buddy of mine, and he owns a shop called 304 Customs. So we was working on my truck, and we was just talking. He's looking for a Nissan 240.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Nissan 240 or 300Z.
That's
Now
surprising.
300Zs was cool too. I like those. He's just kind of super heavy. He's wanting an LS swap on.
Okay, now we're getting back to Joey.
Yeah.
And see, I know that guy.
Yeah. So he'd like to have one LS swap, but nothing crazy. Maybe set heads cam.
Yeah.
No turbos, no nothing. Just something he can go have fun in.
Yeah.
I told him, I used to have a 240.
I feel like you could pick up a 240 fairly reasonable and fairly easy.
Kind of. I mean, they've kind of went all over the world.
Really?
Yeah. They're all over the place as far as prices go. But it's hard to find one in good shape.
Right.
Because either A, you've got your people, it's like, I'm going to rice the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Or I've just used this to beat back and forth to work. And
it just destroys them either way.
It's super hard to find something like that now.
Yeah, I've never been a big tuner guy. I just never got into it. Like, even in high school, that was the thing, man. The body kits and the Lambo doors, and remember everybody wanted a cold air intake to put on the ride. That stuff was always stupid. Like, it just wasn't my scene. Like, there is so much cooler ways to make things go faster.
Well, that trophy behind you right there, that's Nopi National. That's a huge tuner car show. Thousands of tuners. Took Dodge Stealth.
Took a Dodge Stealth?
Dodge Stealth. I mean, it was,
You loved that car, though.
I liked it.
Like, I remember that car. I
was proud of that car. And it's because I kind of built it from, 16, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, you had it for a while.
I went to a private school, so what I would do, I did. So I went to a private school, so you had to pay for your lunch every day. So what I would do is I get the money.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't eat lunch. And I'd set this out.
The lunch money built your car.
Lunch money built my first car, pretty much. Not all of it, but most of it. Then people be like, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" Just give me money. That's all I want. Forget the socks. Just give me the $5.
I went to Montcalm.
I did too for 1 year.
Yeah, I went to Montcalm. Mine was
I got socks that year.
Mine was more, hey, I'll weed eat that bank for you for that old rear end you got laying over there. Yeah, that was mine.
I got you. So, we was talking about Joey with his 240.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wanting to do LS swap. So it brings me into my next segment of this. LS swap versus Coyote swaps. So,
are we talking strictly Fords?
Well,
like, there ain't a whole lot of guys sticking Coyotes in Chevys.
There's not.
There's plenty of guys sticking LSs in Fords.
There is,
but there's not. Ooh,
I get it.
Be that guy that shows up with the 72 Coyote swaps C10.
Yeah.
Be that guy.
God.
Boy, you want some people to talk about you. You get some talking done.
I don't know if I would like it. Here's where I am on the LS swaps. Anything Chevy, I'm cool with. If you're taking it to the drag strip, I'm cool with. I think when you roll up to a car show, it looks a whole lot better if you have a Ford, you've got a new Coyote swap done.
Yeah.
Not to say the LS is bad. I just personally I think it goes better, you know.
Well, I mean, keep a little bit of something from
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I think if you are building a hot rod, and I'm talking like roadster, coupe, hot rod, I'm perfectly cool with like a Ford frame and body and a Chevy motor.
What's the title as?
I have no idea, but I know plenty of guys that's built
Yeah.
them old roadsters,
Yeah.
and they'll start with just like a 32 Ford frame and build that sucker from the ground up, and it's like, you know, a lot of them's got like fiberglass bodies and stuff like
They
that.
are.
So
I really just like
I don't know
it.
how those are titled actually.
I really like it. Like if you got a 32 Ford, I like it with a 289 302 in it. Just a Ford motor. You know, we got a
People
car.
knock on them 289s, but them are good motors.
Ain't bad at all.
Like,
They're good
you're
motors.
not going out and winning drag races with it, but
No,
they sound
That's
killer.
not what it's all about, though. At the end of the day, like
No, but
I had
they-
a buddy tell me this a long time ago. He's from Roanoke. Used to hang out with him all the time because we go down there and cruise on the weekends. And you know, I was into the fast stuff. Like I wanted fast.
Right.
And he was more into looks.
Okay.
So sometimes we'd go to car shows or whatever, and he'd win a trophy, and I wouldn't, whatever. So we got to talking one day, and he's like, you know, you can drive by on the road, pulling into the car show, and they're not going to say, damn, that car's fast.
I mean, he's got a point.
But if I pull in, they're going to say, damn, that car's nice.
But
And I said,
there is some cars out there that when they pull in, you say, that car's fast.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yours at that particular time, you might not have said that.
Yeah, it's a tuner
but
car.
there's been a couple of cars that I've seen pull up to the show, and I'm thinking,
That's nasty.
that thing is nasty.
Yeah, that's nasty. Yeah, as far as I mean, that was back in the tuner days, I guess, for me. And I was like, man, why did it make me feel bad?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest, dude. Back then, there was a lot of pissed off bumblebees riding around the road. That's what everybody
Yep.
sounded like, fast, slow, whatever.
That was one of them.
You could have that tuner that you sunk a ton of money into, and it's running 10 flat, or this, you know, Ford, what was it, Escort. The Escort. What was it, ZX2s or whatever?
ZX2?
They would sound almost identical.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not to you tuner guys, but to all of us with some sense,
Sound
they
the same.
sounded the same.
Yeah. You know, I think the coolest thing about an LS swap, I'm trying to think of how to say this. We was at a car show a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to a guy, and I really liked his truck. And, you know, we're just talking about it. It's on air rod. It's an older Chevy truck, 50 some model. And I'm like, how's that truck doing on the interstate? It's LS swapped. I said, okay. He's like, you know, I could go build a crate motor or 383 stroker or whatever. It's going to have about the same power as just junkyard 5.3.
Yeah.
But it's way more dependable. Just cruising. I did the whole drive line, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I set the cruise control at, 80 and I headed on here.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
If you're going to
Man, I'm
drive
jealous.
one, if you're going to drive one, like say the wagon, right? It makes so much sense to LS swap them things.
it does.
Like something
Unless it's a Ford, Coyote swap it.
Coyote swap the Fords.
Go to the bank. They will give you a personal loan. Unless you have terrible credit. Then holler at your friend or somebody. Get a Coyote swap. Get a Coyote swap if you got a Ford.
I don't even know if you necessarily have to go with Coyote swapping it.
Where would you go?
Man, I mean, come on, man. Like the Coyotes,
Kia?
the Coyotes are cool and all.
Kia swap?
But no, like when we first got Brennan's Mustang, well, you know, I kicked around the idea pretty hard of finding like a 94, 95 GT car.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Like, is it
I
a
think you
Coyote?
need to keep it.
No, but it's new enough that it can be super reliable, but not cost me $20,000 for the crate. Like I can pick the whole car
And I
up for
think
$5,000,
I think
wiring
that's
harness
maybe.
and everything.
I think that's why maybe a lot of people
The
doesn't do
LSs are
super cheap.
Yeah,
unless you start building performance wise.
right. But if I just wanted to, like the wagon, for instance, we could LS swap that car for probably less than what you've got in the motor now.
I guarantee it.
Like
I probably should have did that.
the Coyote swapping.
Don't let Brittany watch this because she'll be like, "You could have really did LS swapping that
Yeah,
car for cheaper than that 383."
Yeah, we won't tell her. I don't think she watches anyway.
Yeah, she
so it's
probably
okay.
don't. Yeah, it's good.
But saying Coyote swap and LS swap, there's such a big difference between the two of them. Like I'm trying to think of like an LS comparable to the Coyote. Like the Coyotes are getting a little bit better, but that's still what a $15,000 to $20,000 crate
No,
engine?
it's stupid expensive. Everything Ford wise is very expensive for them things. So I mean that is a reason why a lot of people doesn't do it. I'm sure. I mean, I'm not a big Ford guy, but I guarantee that that's one of the reasons.
It's got to be.
And if you're going and racing, let's just be honest with you. LS is perfect. It's cheaper
it is.
to start out with, but you blow your motor, you can go to a junkyard
Well, that's what I was going to say.
and just rob you
Like
whatever.
for the longest time, a handful of Mustangs is all that Coyote was really coming in. Mm-hmm. Chevy's been putting LSs in all kind of stuff.
Trucks, vans.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, my truck, I literally drive it every day. But if I wanted to put that motor into a car, if I wanted to rebuild it and put a motor in a car, I could.
That's what's crazy
And
about
it's
it. Nobody
good
ooh or ahs over the Silverado you have.
But put that motor in,
Put that motor
you know.
in your Mustang.
Oh,
or Bree's
yeah,
Mustang.
that's a totally different ball game. Put that motor in like an 83 C10, and all of a sudden, that's a cool motor,
Oh,
man.
God, they LS swapped that.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you know it come out of a 2008?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if you're going to drive them regularly, then yeah, I'm good with LS swapping one. I'm good with Coyote swapping one. You keep it Chevy, Ford.
I
Like
think
there's
so. Unless you're drag racing stuff, I get that whole point. You make a lot more power, I believe, on LS. But you know, a lot of the Ford guys are going to tell me no. And I've seen a lot of fast Coyotes.
oh yeah,
A lot.
that motor's no joke.
No, it's a nasty motor. You know, I know Chad Spicer and Houston Payton and all them had fast Mustangs. They's a force to be reckoned with there forever. And Chad don't have it now. He switched to Dodge, but Houston still has that car, and it's nasty. So Ford's got it going on. I think just for money-wise, I think people tend to go toward LS.
I'll be honest with you. I think probably my favorite Coyote swap. You remember that kid that come to Madness this spring, maybe last spring? I can't remember. He had that Fox body
I do.
that he had put that Coyote
He racked up
in.
quite a bit of trophies.
He done good. I mean, well, it was a good build.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty impressive for his age.
I think he was kind of just coming maybe what I could think of for maybe the sleeper award because, you know, the car was just a regular Fox.
The car was just
But,
a Fox
I mean, it's a
body.
clean,
It was
like,
super clean,
super
but
nice.
it was just a Fox body.
Yeah.
But, man, when you walked up and looked under that hood, and you're like, that's not bad. You done a good job with that.
I
wasn't expecting
I
that.
remember walking by to find somebody as far as judging goes, and I stopped and turned around. And I said, "Oh shit, they Coyote swapped that."
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at it and I'm like, "Wow, somebody put a lot of time in that."
But then you find out it's like some youngin'.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, wow. And then I don't know. Like, that was one of the cooler builds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's super cool. So if you had to pick right now, you got to buy any car It's free. New car wise, what are you buying?
Oh, new car?
New car, brand new, right off showroom. Performance wise,
Does Dark Horse hit the lot yet?
yeah, sure, you could pick that.
Dark Horse. I'm going Dark Horse. I'm not even a big Ford guy, but that thing is just wicked.
Yeah, I like the Dark Horse.
And it gets me a lot of brownie points for the old lady. So I'm perfectly fine riding around in that car. Sounds good, super cool. The key fob literally has a rev button on it. Like,
What are you gonna do with that?
I'm going to start it up, and while I'm standing over here, I'm going to rev my motor. Yep.
What?
Yeah, it's got a rev button on the key fob.
That's
Remote
the-
start, rev it up.
Why?
Why not? Why do you rev your motor, period?
I don't.
Yes, you do. That's a lie. That's a bald-faced lie.
When?
Anytime you start a car,
If it's carbureted, yeah, you gotta clean
what
it out.
is that? Don't give me that clean it out crap. Don't you dare.
Yeah. Carburetor's building up. It's too hot.
Whatever
Tune's
excuse
too hot.
you want to use,
Tune's too
Ford
hot.
put a rev button on the key fob.
They need to put a button,
saying.
don't crash into crowd.
Well, I've got that button built into me. I don't need it on the key fob.
I like the Dark Horse.
You got to admit that's a cool looking car.
Yeah, it's good.
What about you? Where you at? What are you buying? The new Eclipse?
No. What? I'm not buying I'm not buying those Aztec, Pontiac Aztec. I think for me, I would go with the new Hellcat.
Is there enough room on the bandwagon for you?
Huh?
Is there enough room? Like, aren't they already
Yeah.
spoken for? Mm-hmm. The new Hellcat. Tell me why the new Hellcat.
I do like the Charger. I put all the kids in it.
Okay.
I still go super fast.
Okay.
I wouldn't say super fast, but I mean, it's a fast car.
Oh, yeah.
Factory, factory for factory, it's a fast car.
So,
Um,
out of everything,
I don't know. I just like the styles and stuff on them. You talk about body lines with C10.
mm-hmm.
It's hard to beat those wide body Chargers.
Like the newer Chargers.
Yeah, not the old one.
I mean,
They make a Hellcat.
well, I know that, but I'm talking about body line wise.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to see a lot of them this weekend.
Where are we going?
I'm going to tell you here shortly. But wide body wise,
Okay.
it's awesome. That's my car.
All right. Who's winning off the line?
I don't know. I think you're stuck in like the 500 horsepower on the Dark Horse?
I ain't even really looked into them. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I just love the front badge and the red button. They sound good. I didn't know that. They sound wicked.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm stuck with the Charger. That's me.
So Charger and a Dark Horse.
Yeah. Now,
Maybe one day.
if I could get one gave to me and I could not drive it, I would definitely get the Charger and put it up. And
Just
I'd take
kinda
that to
pack
make
that
them.
thing
yeah,
away,
I'd take that to
put
make
it
them
in
here
a
in a
nice
couple
little
years.
bubble.
Yeah. Take that to make them here in a couple years.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because here's where I'm at on that. I think there's so many people doing that.
You think it's going to flood the market
I
eventually?
think that is a bubble that is going to bust, man. Like, I really do.
I don't know. Couple last ones made.
A couple last one's a different story, but I think there's so many. Like, I mean, I've talked to guys at car lots. These people are calling in and buying these cars and don't want to take delivery of them. They want them trucked to them. You know, they'll call a rollback, put it on. They don't even want that delivery mileage put on it. So,
Man, if I'm buying something, and chances are 8 out of the 10 people is having to finance these things.
now you're making a payment on something.
You're
just
making a
sitting there.
payment that you can't drive. What's the fun in that? Like, I want to go have fun. I want to do a big smoky burnout.
Well, I don't know how much.
I want to try to do some donuts.
Well, the problem is they're looking at it as an investment. And not a lot of people think investments are fun. Nobody gets excited over throwing money in a savings account because it's not fun. That's where I think they're
Ideally,
they're
I
looking
would,
at it
ideally, I'd probably try to put it up, but I know me, I would want to be like,
Yes. I'm at least do a burnout in it.
I didn't just spend this much money.
I'll go out, get in my little bubble in the driveway, just do a burnout inside the bubble. Nah, I don't know. Like, I don't think they're going away forever. I just don't. Like, come on, man. Dodge has sold so many of them cars. The Chargers, the Challengers, so many in the last, 5, 6 years.
You think it'll be kind of like the Camaro and go away for
just
a couple
go away
years?
for a little bit, let a little bit.
And then they'll see that the whole electric thing's probably not going to pan out.
The electrical grid we have, if everybody woke up tomorrow with an electric car, it couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Like, gas ain't going nowhere. Not for a while.
I think everything will be kind of hybrid.
Hybrid, maybe. Like, if I'm plug it up at my house and just kind of charge it overnight while it's just sitting
Or
there.
if you gas it up and as you're decelling down a hill, it's kind of pre-charging that.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that I'm fine with. But, like, on the other hand, I like motors.
I have a feeling if they bring the Charger and Challenger and all that stuff back, it'd probably be some kind of hybrid deal.
That's going to really, really disappoint me. Like, I get that the electric thing has its place and everything, but I'm going to tell you, here's my opinion. If you're wishy-washy on electric or motor, electric or gas, go to Bristol Motor Speedway
Yeah.
during a NASCAR race. You can literally feel the power. Like,
How you think that's going to work out being all electric?
I'll stop watching it. It's not even going to be. They make no sound. I mean, what, a little tire squeal every once in a while?
You'll get that wind.
Okay, you'll get a little. So it's. No, like, I like the fact that if you go in there and
All
take
your
your
rednecks
earplugs
is
off,
not going to be there
No.
drinking their
let
Coors.
that go electric and watch how fast it dies.
Yeah. Lord. But, so I guess touching on something else, and we'll get into these car shows kind of coming up.
Okay.
We have the Madness in the Mountains raffle truck.
That thing's coming along nice.
Chevy C10, or S10.
Easy.
Chevy S10.
There it is.
We got this thing. It's in pretty good shape. We didn't like the pewters, so we ended up going with a silver metallic.
But it's a matte, right?
And then we covered it all in like a matte clear instead of, a high, shiny clear. Wait until everybody sees this. Like, it's kind of hard to explain,
Like,
especially
honestly,
if I'm trying to sell you a ticket. But if you see it in person, you're sold on it. Like, I would like to have this truck.
I kind of like don't even want to give away any spoilers to the other stuff that's been done. Like, I maybe put out a video or something like that when we do finally get everything done with it until a show comes up or something. But I think just sitting here and explaining it, I don't know if people's going to grasp it.
No, it's a super nice truck. It's not nothing crazy fast.
It's not.
But it's a 350 V8.
But if you saw what it
sounds
was
good
a month ago.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's got AC, but the paint job brings it from the
Pawpaw.
From Pawpaw.
Let's say from
Really.
Pawpaw.
Pawpaw, taking this thing to Lowe's to, honestly, it's got a set of rallies on it. We kept the rallies on it, just color matched the center. Put the trim rings back on it. But if it was mine, I'd keep those on.
It surprised me how many people wanted the rallies on.
They did. I had people private message me like, "I'll buy a ticket if you keep the rallies."
Hey,
So
if you do
finally-
get rid of the rallies, what do you want for them?
Yeah, so finally I was like, you know what? They're brand new tires. The rims are in good shape. Let's just paint them. But if I won that truck, which I can't, but if it was mine, a set of black and polished welds, lower it down just a little bit more, and man, I'd just whip that thing around everywhere.
Show some love for the rally wheels, man.
Yeah. I mean, they're all right on the truck. It looks good, but, I think the welds would look a lot better with a set of radios on the back. That's just me. But $75 spot, 200 spots. We've sold quite a bit of spots. It's not picking up quite like I thought it was, or should already, I guess, be picking up. But nobody's seen this thing all together.
That's what I was going to say.
Once you see this thing, and it really is not going to click because it kind of still looks pewter if you take a picture of it. It's just like a gunmetal, almost silver. God almighty, it's a beautiful truck.
The last time anybody saw it was still pewter. Had a black hood on it.
It looked rough.
Roll
pan was gone. I mean, the bumper was gone. The roll pan was painted.
Yeah. So I'm excited for people to see what it's going to look like.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, head on over to the Madness in the Mountains Facebook page. You can private message us there, or you can look at the video and just in the comments section say, hey, reach out to me. I would like a spot. We've got the spots numbered. So look through, we update those soon as the invoice has been paid. But, look through there, take a shot on it. It's $75.
I mean, for $75, if you hate it,
turn around and sell it.
You can make money on it.
Or you could take the cash buyout.
That's true. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, $7,500.
That's not a bad little gamble. That's not
cash
a bad
for $75.
I mean, I'd buy that $75 scratch off.
Yeah, I mean, but what's cool is after of course we bought the truck. We've got the paint and stuff gifted to us by Harvey's Paint Body, or Harvey's Auto Parts, I should say. And we've had to pay a guy to help getting painted and stuff, and we'll have some cleanup fees and stuff like that. Some other stuff we changed that we're not telling right now that me and Frankie knows about until you see it, and you're going to be like, wow, that looks awesome. But once all that's paid off, the remaining, money all goes to Ronald McDonald House.
That's right.
Not a single dime goes anywhere else but the Ronald McDonald House for any of our events. So super awesome. For $75, it's kind of hard to beat. So, God,
if
I wish I
could.
Win.
I'd take a shot on it.
Yeah, and we're hoping to try to give it away October 29th.
It's what we're shooting for.
And I'll be honest with you, with the C10, it was kind of a draw for the show. We was going to give it away regardless. We sold out and had, 200 people we probably had to turn down from trying to buy tickets.
Right.
We're not going to raffle this truck until all the spots are done. Perfect world, I love to give this away at our October show, October 29th at Ramey Chevy. But, if we ain't got the spots there, that's fine. We'll wait until the spots get filled up. It's fair. You get the most money from McDonald House. We're going into the time of the year where we, start getting all our money together to take it to Ronald McDonald House.
Give to them.
So I'm not going to rob them of any kind of, money, especially here at the end. We have no way to kind of make it up with any other shows or anything. So we're going to let this kind of play out. Once all the spots are filled, we will raffle it off. But for $75, you got a good shot at.
And it's only 200 spots.
Yeah, you only 200 spots. 200 people.
Like that's
actually probably less
than 200 people because we've had some people buy multiple
spots.
So I mean, why not?
Yeah, for sure. If you don't like it, like I say, take cash powder or trade it to your buddy and get you an LS swap Mustang.
Oh God,
do that.
So what we got coming up this weekend?
So,
what's this big surprise?
I'm gonna go over some shows coming up.
Okay.
This weekend and then of course next weekend and a little after. So this Friday, me, Frankie, my wife, his wife, kids, everybody, we're going to Salem, Roanoke area for Mopars in the Valley.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So they've really supported every show that we've ever had.
They have. I actually talked to them at the fairground show, and they was telling me about this show.
Yep. So I really like all the guys in there. It seems like they make the drive to us all the time. I went to that show last year. Mm-hmm. I had a great time. We took my wife's
cool cars down there.
Took my wife's Dodge Charger Daytona, and we had a great time. We took the whole family.
Some cool vendors too, wasn't
it? Yeah, great vendors. They got shirts and stuff there. Food, everything else, silent auction.
So it's a 2-day show?
So let me fill you in on this.
Okay.
I say we're going this weekend.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was saying.
Friday for the Mopars in the Valley show, they're having a pre-party light show.
Light show.
Pre-party light show. So
We disco
it's
balling
gonna maybe. It starts out at 5 p.m.
Okay.
It's going to be at the Virginia Museum of Transportation.
Well, that's cool.
But, you know, you've got your Jeeps and stuff there because that's considered Mopars.
It is, yeah.
So you're going to have a lot of stuff there with all the lights underneath of it and everything. I'm going to be curious on how that goes. If there's trophies, if it's just kind of a meet and greet, just hang out before the show and it's all kinds of lights and music.
So, good news is we figured out what the problem is. Bad news, didn't get it fixed this week either. But now that we know what it is, definitely get it taken care of. Next week will be a totally different story. I'm on tonight ordering a new camera. See you guys then.
Just hang out before the show and it's all kinds of lights and music. I don't know. Should be a fun time.
It'll be different if nothing else.
Yeah, so
Leave it up to a Mopar guy to do something different.
I think it'll do good. And the people that's actually helping is Black Pearl show boards.
Black Pearl boards.
Yep. So they actually reached out to us after Madness in the Mountains about trying to do this at Madness in the Mountains next year for 2024. So kind of going down to see that and how this all kind of works out. So we can kind of all get a game plan. But so it's going to be the Black Pearl show boards and Money's House of Tent, Rob Jones, Justin Radford, all them is going to kind of combine and do like a big pre-party, I guess.
That'll be cool.
Night party. I shouldn't say pre-party because, spoiler alert, Madness is going to go to a 2-day show.
2 of them.
2-day show.
Twos. I'm excited and stressed at the same time.
We're too big for a 1-day show.
It's just too much.
We're not dealing with 194 cars
No.
like a lot of shows.
I mean, we...
Yeah.
God, dude, last year was pushing it so hard. Like,
Yep. We had 447,
yeah, if we would have been over 500,
and you had quite a bit more there. They just didn't register. You just can't do that all in just a couple hours. So we're converting that to a 2-day show. So, you know, Rob, Money's House of Tent, Justin Radford, along with Black Pearl show boards is going to put us a kind of big party kind of going on Friday night.
We've got a bunch of other stuff in the works right now. We haven't locked everything down, but
yeah. It's going to be huge.
You're going to have a good time next year.
Yep. So make sure when you see Madness in the Mountains coming out with this show of next year in May, you go ahead and put it in on your schedule.
Take a couple of days off.
You're going to need to take Thursday after work. You're going to have to head on to Bluefield, get you a hotel room, because all day Friday, all day Saturday, we've got some pretty awesome stuff coming up. So,
what else you got this week?
But you got Mopars in the Valley on Friday night. Saturday, the show is at the Salem Civic Center.
Yep.
It's 8 a.m. to 4, so we'll be there. This is their 36 years.
Really?
Yeah, that's good.
God.
I hope we get to that point one day.
36 years. They started, what, 87, something like that?
36 years. That's awesome. But also Saturday, if you don't have a Mopar, because they will not let you in. I tried to disguise my Chevy 2 Nova as a Mopar. All they do is laugh about it. They ain't about that.
Well, I can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, 36 years, that's awesome. So if you don't have a Mopar or it's too far away for you, you've got this Saturday Roars and Revs Auto Show. It's going to be at the back of the Dragon. It's in Tazewell, Virginia. Starts at 8 a.m. I think it's their second time doing this. Didn't go to the first one. I seen some pictures. So we'll see how the second one goes. I know Patrick. I think he's got some involvement with that show. But kind of looked like a pretty neat idea. So I'd like to get down there one day and kind of see how that goes. I know
Never been.
I know the Back of the Dragon's kind of been reaching out to us for over a year to try to do something, and
Yeah, maybe
Joey
we can do something.
Joey got me on the phone with him the other day and
Yeah.
was trying to sweet talk me into making something like this happen. So we'll kind of see. But yeah, you got that going on Saturday. Also Saturday evening, you got the Cruising Pembroke by Scoops Arcade.
Okay.
That's going to be in Pembroke, Virginia. definitely 100% go 1 mile per hour less than the speed limit. Promise you.
Not 1.5, because you might get a ticket for that
On
too.
God, you will get a ticket. But that's from 5 p.m. to 8.
3 hours of cruising Pembroke?
I guess it's a cruise in.
Oh, okay. Cruise in. I thought,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not cruising.
Oh, I thought,
down
I mean, you was talking about doing the exact speed limit.
Well, no, I just mean it's
we're
like
just
a
cruising
speed,
back and forth.
It's Speed Trap City up there.
That's one of them.
Coming up shows, you got September 8th and 9th, Triple Crown, Nashville. Bobby Alloway and his team.
That's September 8th and 9th?
Yep, September 8th and 9th.
No kidding.
Yep.
God, it's
going to be next week.
Flying by.
Yep, which is next week, really. Also,
What,
September.
Week after that, you got Rod Run.
You do. So September 9th, which is that Saturday, you got Static Nationals. It's in Rogersville, Tennessee from 8 to 5. I also know the show promoter of that show and some people that helps out with that show. So it's a pretty awesome show. He started that a couple years ago. Did fairly well with it. Definitely, I know I can't make it this year, but one year I'm definitely going to get out there because he comes to a lot of our Madness events.
Right.
I always like to try to support everybody that comes to our events. So,
Oh, yeah.
especially if they got a show and stuff. So I can't make it this year, just trying to get my car put back together. But definitely like to get down there one year. The week after that, September 14th through 16th, Fall Rod Run.
That's right.
I'll be glad when that show is over because my fingers is black. I'm hurting all over. I've literally got this thing 3 foot in the air.
Oh, yeah.
The whole underneath of it's clean,
I showed up
painted.
today. He's rolling around under this thing, polishing.
Everything is nice. The oil pan is waxed. Like, this thing is sexy.
Haven't washed my truck in 2 years, but I'm down there buffing his hood today.
Yeah. So I got to get that show out of the way. I've changed quite a bit of stuff on the truck with the help of a lot of people. Did I say truck?
You absolutely said truck.
Wow. It's about bedtime.
Problem is, you've been working on the truck too much.
Yeah, I've been working on my truck way too much, what it is. But yeah, just been working on the car a whole lot. I'll be glad to kind of get that show over and kind of enjoy it. One of those things, I really don't care about a trophy because I'm taking a knife to a cannon fight. But at least I want to show up with a sharp knife.
There you go.
Let's see.
Little sticker in the back glass says Bowie knife.
It's just a sharp knife. And, whatever it is, it is. At the end of the day, I'm happy with it. I still have fun. I drive it.
That's
Like
it.
a lot of the cars that goes to these events, like that. I drive mine, so. But yeah, that's all I got this time. So
Well, all right. I mean, it sounds like we got a pretty full weekend.
yeah, I'm gonna let you hang out with some of the Mopars in the Valley Car Club.
Oh,
Kind of see what you think of that, and then maybe here in a couple weeks we'll introduce you to a mini truck club. See what you think of that. I want to change your mind on this car club.
Okay.
I'm tired of this shit.
Good,
Joey, if you're watching this, I'm going to bring you along on one of these. You're going to hang out with these car clubs too. I'm changing your mind as well.
I would doubt it. We're pretty set in our ways, if you ain't noticed.
Well,
But man, we appreciate y'all watching.
yeah,
appreciate you
it.
listening.
Make sure you like it, subscribe, tell all your buddies about it. We just do this for fun. But we just kind of sitting around talking cars, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we do a lot anyways. So why not just do it with a couple of people we can?
If you got any ideas, any kind of discussions you want us to kind of debate or bring up or shows, feel free to message us on Facebook or write in the comment section on YouTube, whatever. And, just kind of fill us in. We'll get that mentioned or argue about it. One of the two. So,
One of the two.
well, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.
Take it easy.